Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria, and guys, today we have a foundation review. Thank you, Jesus! And I'm so excited. Y'all know I love foundation reviews, and I really love them when they are from the drugstore. This is the newest one from Soap & Glory, and this is their kick-ass all-day wear foundation. It says on the front here, it is 24-hour wear and sweat-proof. And I have a bunch of the information here also from Ulta.com, which is where I purchased it. So let's go ahead and read a little bit here. It is $16. You get one full fluid ounce. It comes in like this plastic kind of container, which, because it's drugstore, I'm not mad at. I mean, would I prefer a little bit more luxury? Sure. But something I really do love is actually the way that they did this component, which I don't know that you can see it, but this is one of those kind of like a skincare container, very similar to, I believe it was the Found Sealer that Tarte released, which I did a full video on. I will link up here. But when brands do this in this way, basically what happens is as you pump the foundation out, there's this big platform right here, which is this white band you see. And what that does is you are actually sucking the air out of the container, and it actually moves and squeegees up all the product. So what I love about containers like this, whether they're glass, plastic, I don't care. I love that when you are using this foundation, you will get all of this foundation all the way up. Now, a lot of times a little bit of foundation or a little bit of the product, skincare, whatever, will gather at the top right here because there's not enough suction to pump it out. But I really love this style in general just because it does scrape the container for you as you go. So you don't have to get in there, either feel like you're not getting all your product or whatever the case is. It helps just move it all up for you, and it will squeegee the sides of this container. And I also really like this style of a container, which I believe I touched on a little bit in that Found Sealer video, but I really like it because it helps keep the ingredients in the foundation or the skincare or whatever the product is. It helps to keep it fresh, which is really, really nice, because a lot of times the ingredients in skincare or foundation or whatever you're using, they can be activated by oxygen. And so having a component like this makes it so whatever is going on inside this tube, it's not going to be disturbed when you use it. Unlike something like the L'Oreal True Match, which is a great foundation. I just talked about it in my month-end favorites, which I will link up here. But this, because it's just an open top, when you go in here with this foundation, it actually allows the oxygen to get in, and a foundation like this with this type of component will actually go bad faster than a foundation in the other type of pump like we're talking about with Soap & Glory. So just something, I mean, if you were ever curious why do they do it or what's the pro to this type of packaging, there are quite a few pros. There's a couple cons. I mean, obviously, once you get to the top, like I said, there's a little foundation, and then you can also have the systematic breakdown. What if it doesn't work? What if the lever goes out? It's very difficult to get your foundation out if this component breaks down. But I really do feel like this type of a package really does, like, the good outweighs the bad. But anyways, back to the product information. I believe I already said this. $16, one full fluid ounce. It does release in 12 shades, which I have to be honest, the shade range is absolutely abysmal. 12 shades at this point, we all know that is not enough. However, the overall reviews on this are pretty good, coming in at 4.5 out of 5 stars on the Ulta website with 19 reviews. Not bad. I didn't read them, but those look pretty good. It says here in the details, it says short of time, question mark. Soap & Glory Kick-Ass All Day is a lightweight medium coverage foundation that lasts for 24 hours. Okay. And it's sweat-proof. Okay, well, I hate to tell you this, but girl, I got a hormone disorder, and like, if anybody's gonna judge you, it will be me. Want the full story? This lightweight medium coverage foundation lasts as long as you do, all day and night. That's 24 whole hours. Whoa! It actually says whoa, by the way. It's not only super long lasting, it's humidity, sweat, and waterproof too. Plus, there's no chance of the dreaded cakey face. Don't you just hate that? This fab formula stays put without smudging or melting off, leaving you to look fresh and flawless around the clock. Can I just tell you that I absolutely love whoever wrote this? Oh my God, don't you hate that? Girl, whoa! Like, yes, I do. I also would probably love your Tinder profile if this is how animated you are about this foundation. Girl, I can't wait to see what you write about yourself. It says here, again, the benefits: waterproof, sweat-proof, blah, 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 leaves your skin looking flawless, yet natural. And that's where we're at right now. And I don't think there's anything else we need to care about. So let's go ahead and get to applying it here. I'm just gonna go ahead and pump a little bit out. I have the shade 01N. This is the lightest shade they offer. Again, the lightest with N meaning a neutral undertone. They did have a couple different undertones to choose from, but again, only 12 shades. I actually don't think this is the worst skin match I've ever had. Y'all have seen some doozies. So I'm kind of excited. Let's go ahead here. I need to find a mirror. Hello. I'm just gonna take here and kind of do, actually that's almost my exact skin tone. Cool. So that right there was about one pump. I'm just gonna take my e.l.f. sponge here and kind of squidgy it around, and let's take a look at how it sits on the skin. So one pump didn't go very far, but I actually do like the way it kind of evened out the skin. I feel like it looks really pretty. The way it's sitting down is quite nice. Wow. Okay, I'm not mad at that. Definitely gonna need more foundation though, because a lot of it did suck up into here. I'll be very curious to see this with a brush. I'm gonna take 2 more pumps though on the back of my hand, and I'm going to go ahead one more time here and just apply them with my finger. This is a pretty thin, like liquid consistency, but it's very concentrated. Like it doesn't run, but it is very thin and lightweight feeling, which I like. Did my voice just crack? Which I like. Oh, I wonder sometimes about me. Okay, let's go ahead and buff this other side in here. See how she runs. See how she runs. And I'm just doing this side. Why was I singing that? My God. But I'm just doing this side with the sponge. And like I said, I do want to try this with a brush. I really love the way this is sinking into the skin. Oh my God, primer. Hello. Guys, I was so excited about foundation today. You don't even understand. So for primer, if you're new here, hello, you're probably like, wow, you're making a great first impression page. Anytime I do a foundation review, I always prime and prep the 2 sides of my face differently. So today, this side got the Tatcha Silk Canvas, and then this side got this guy, which is the Peter Thomas Roth Skin to Die For primer. I really love both of them. I like to have a good control variable, but I also like to see if foundations work differently over top of different primers. And so Tatcha is a really good, like I said, control variable for me. I like the way it looks on the skin and the way that it kind of settles into the pores. It does a great job being a pore filling product, but it doesn't make me matte. Whereas the Peter Thomas Roth that I put on this side of the face also does a good job pore filling, but it does have a little bit more of a mattification property to it. So I just, you know, 2 different types that are slightly different, but it can make a big difference on my skin. And I always figure, like, why test 1 primer when you can test 2? Anyways, I grabbed a little bit more product here. I'm ready to go in and do this side with a brush. This is the Morphe Jeffree Star brush, the JS1. This is my favorite foundation brush. Girl, is there like a tractor out there again? Every time I sit down to film, I swear to you, there's always somebody outside and they've got these big tractor, like think of the biggest, I should probably apply foundation while I talk, but think of the biggest like John Deere tractor you could think of with the big doors on it that slam shut. And I swear to you, they just come to my window and they just sit at the edge of the road and they just slam their door all day. And it drives me nuts. Okay, like is that probably actually what they're doing? No, but I swear that's what it sounds like they're doing. And it drives me insane. And they only do it when I film. I'm like, what? Do you guys have either the most impeccable timing in the world or you're just jackasses? And I don't know which, but come on now. Okay, it doesn't look bad with a brush. I'm not getting any streaks, which is nice. It's not pressing into the skin as nicely as it did with the sponge side. And I also don't feel like I'm getting any extra coverage with a brush. I'm gonna try to build it up right now. But because I don't think I'm getting any extra coverage, I would probably just stick with the other side, the sponge side. Just because it's quicker and it's easier for me a lot of times. The coverage isn't bad. I will say this is probably a solid medium coverage, which isn't, you know, anything different than they claim, so I'm not mad at it. I'm just gonna go in and smooth everything out a little bit here with my sponge. Okay guys, so I love the way this is sinking onto the skin. I will be dead honest with you. I had no hopes for it. But it actually looks really pretty. Sorry, I had a cat hair on my forehead. But I like it. The only thing I'm not loving is that I am having some oxidizing that's going on. And let me see if I can show you here. And this is one of the ways I always test my oxidizing theory. I always take a little bit on my finger here, fresh out of the container, and I will take it and put it right in the middle of my cheek. Oh yeah, we got some oxidizing. And I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but not only is it oxidizing, it's also giving me a very pink cast to my skin. So it's oxidizing on the pink scale, which that I really don't love. Because y'all, if there's one undertone I cannot pull, it is pink. Oh my God, I can pull off gold. I can pull off neutral, golden, beige. I can pull off burnt carrot. I cannot pull off pink. And you know why I can't pull off pink? Because I look like a freaking Christmas tree ornament, just like sitting there like a little beacon because I got this round ass face and I have all these wrong undertones. Girl, pink is not my thing, no thank you. Bubblegum, cannot do it, no thank you, not my color. And you know, some people can. I just am not one of them. I am not blessed. But nonetheless, this foundation, other than the pink oxidizing that I'm seeing, looks beautiful on my skin. I really love this, holy crap. Like, wow, for a drugstore foundation, this looks great. Is that the loudest car you've ever heard in your life? Girl, you're frustrating me. All right, so next up, we're gonna grab our Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the shade Swan, and I am going to go under the eyes and shape out the face a little bit. Okay, so I was a little bit worried like, okay, a lot of bit worried about this foundation and the way that like the yellow undertones of the Swan concealer from Too Faced. I was a little bit worried that the undertones would like collide and be not a good situation, but I feel like this one actually mixed and helped quite a bit. Like the two undertones, don't get me wrong, if you're up close and you're really used to seeing what my foundation normally looks like, you might be able to tell, but I feel like far away, once we get all the other products on, I don't think this is gonna be an issue at all. And as far as a drugstore foundation that only released in 12 shades, this color actually comes close to my natural color, which is great, especially because my dumb face decided to put her hair up. And normally with foundation reviews, I always tell myself, you gotta leave your hair down. That way it like helps, and if there's a color discrepancy, we can fix it. But no, today I was just like, hair up, because apparently that's all I've been doing. Lately, guys, I don't even know. I don't think I've worn my hair down more than 5 times in the last 3 weeks. Like every day. And even if it starts down, girl, where does it go? Up. All right, guys, so before I go in and set the face, I just wanted to let this foundation kind of settle and sink for a minute, see how it turned out. And it's definitely still tacky. It's been sitting here for probably 4-ish minutes, and I'm getting quite a bit of transfer. Whoops, better pat that back out. I do think no matter what, you'll probably have to give this a light set. Now, if you don't mind having that light amount of tackiness or that light amount of transfer, you might be fine, because as far as like the sloughing and the movability of it, it doesn't feel bad at all. So I'm not mad at that, and I still do like the way it's settling onto the skin. Before it's set, it's a pretty hard call. I think both sides look the same, so I'm not having an issue with primer. And yeah, let's go ahead and set the face. So I'm gonna be taking the Hourglass translucent powder here and my BH Cosmetics number 5 brush from their festival collection, which I will link up above, and I'm going to use that to set the under eyes after I pat them out, as well as then my powder puff to lightly set the rest of the face. All right, you guys, so when I got the face powdered, and I have to say, I actually quite like the way this is looking. Everything settled down very nicely, and it doesn't look thick or cakey. It has a very, very nice thinness to it, which I love. And the way that it spread over the skin really allowed it to press and settle into the skin, as opposed to just like being thick and sitting on top of it. And then when I added the powder, it just settled in nicely. It looks beautiful. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead here, run off of camera. I'm gonna do the rest of my face. Y'all know the drill. And I'll stop back on and we're gonna get an assessment of how this is going. So hang tight and I will be right back. Okay, you guys, we are back. A full face is on. Obviously, I did a very simple look today, and I'm trying this new technique with my brows where I try to, and I think I've mentioned this before, where I try to like adapt the brow to the makeup. So today it has like a really nice soft arch. It has a nice soft exterior. I didn't want it to be like really harsh and really cut, but I still wanted it to have like a little definition. I don't hate it. I just don't know how I feel. Is this brow too thin? That's always my problem. I feel like this brow on camera always looks too thin, but like in real life, it has the arch goes up to here in real life, but like on camera, you can't see that. What is going on? Anyways, you guys don't care about my brow arches. Let's talk about this foundation. So I went ahead, I applied everything, and I have to say for a second there, things were a little bit shaky. I went in, I did bronzer, which was the Fenty bronzer in Inda Sun, and then I applied my blush, which is the Colourpop Super Shock Cheek Blush in Growth Flirt. I love these so much. And after I got both of those on the face, I went in with my Hourglass palette right here. This is the Ambient Powder palette, and what I like to use this for is to go through all 3 shades, and I really just wiggle it all over the face. It helps blend out my blush and my bronzer together, and it helps press everything into the skin. So then after that, I went in with my Nars Exposed Cheek Palette. I use this guy right here for highlight because I just love the overall glow. I was going for like a really nice, natural, healthy look today, and this is such a beautiful highlight on my skin. And then I touched that with just a tiny, tiny bit of the Ofra Glazed Donut highlight, just a little bit right up here, just to give it a little bit more of a pop. But again, I wanted it to be nice, natural, very flirty looking. That's the look I was going for today. So then when I went in and I sprayed, I always spray before highlight. It looked good. Sprayed after I was done, and then I went in with my 2 sprays of my Farsali Rose Gold Skin Mist, and this did it. This really just like settled into the skin, and I was like, wait a second, you know, my skin's looking a little bit textured. So what I did is I took one more spray on each side, and then I took my still damp e.l.f. sponge here and I pressed it into the foundation, this little bit, just a tiny, tiny bit of it, pressed it into the foundation. And once I did that, oh my word, my skin looked literally flawless. So overall right now, like I said, I'm loving the way it looks. I think everything is settling very natural into the skin. I don't look super porcelain, but I also don't look super textured. I'm very right in between, nice natural skin look. I feel like the coverage came out very nice, definitely on the medium side. You can still see a little bit of my redness that pokes through on both sides, but I'm not mad at that. I feel like it looks gorgeous. And yeah, overall, I'm not upset about it. Are there any other products that I didn't tell you guys about that you might want to know. How about the glaringly obvious one that's on my lips? This is the Essence Insta-Care lipstick here. This is in the shade 05 Sweet Poison, and I love these so much. I've talked about them at length on my channel. These are like $3 or $4 and they're so good. I literally just bought multiple shades of them. I think there's only like 6 colors, but I love them and I think they're so beautiful, and I'll never live without them. So that's what I'm wearing on my lips right now. Super beautiful. I wanted like a nice pop of something. I just needed like a little pizzazzle, if you will. The brows, I have the Urban Decay Double Down Brow in Neutral Nana, and then feathered through them, I did the ABH Dip Brow Gel in Deep Brown. For the lashes, I went in with my L'Oreal Original Voluminous, and can I ask you guys, like, in all friggin' honesty, I don't know if it's just me, I feel like no matter what mascara I go in with right now, my eyelashes are just not living their life. I'm curling them, I'm doing everything the same, and my eyelashes are so little and so pitiful, and this mascara used to be like the shiznat. It used to literally move mountains and nothing. Same with the Urban Decay Perversion, same with every other mascara I've been using lately, and I'm starting to think it's me. You know, like when you go through that bad breakup and you're like, it's not you, it's me. Like, I'm really starting to think it's me, but I don't want to believe it's me because hello, they're just little eyelashes. Like, what could they do? I don't know, but I'm having an issue and it's starting to bother me, and I thought I would share it with you. But anyways, I'm gonna go do the day, y'all, and I will be right back. Okay, you guys, it is officially the end of the day. I've been wearing this foundation for over 10 hours and I definitely have some thoughts. So the first thing I want to say is I am very sorry that this is not being filmed in my beauty studio. I know that that's always preferred, but somebody, not gonna name any names, currently froze up her camera and I'm trying to fix it, but like, I don't know how. So can't really do anything with that, but I just wanted to give you guys my overall thoughts and opinions on this foundation, and I'm actually really grateful, like, for all the days for me to not be able to do one in the studio. Today's a good day for it because guys, let me tell you, this foundation wore like a champion. Like, I'm gonna bring you in, it looks so good still. Overall, I would say the only issue that I had with this foundation is that I got pretty oily. Like, my nose was very oily, I would say at hour 5 or 6. The rest of my face, like even through here, did get pretty oily as well. Here on the forehead, the chin, that got pretty oily around hour, I would say like 6 or 7. But for the most part, other than that, I had literally no issues. I did feel like at the beginning portion of the day, I looked a little bit textured through here, like not textured as in it was breaking up, but more or less textured just in, like right here, you can see that my pores are kind of playing a little bit. That's the only thing I don't like. Like, if I could change one thing, I think it would just be, I would make it a little bit smoother. And other than that, in the oil, I don't have anything negative to say. I actually brought a mirror in with me. And I think the only areas that I had issues with as far as settling, there's a tiny bit in my Hulk crease right up here. And it did give me pretty gnarly smile lines, especially like these ones right here. The other smile lines that I get out here weren't too bad. So just like mainly right there, you can definitely see them. They're worse with this foundation, but I'm not surprised because this foundation did pull so dewy on me. So I'm not mad at it. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of, for me at least, I don't know if it's like this with everybody, but that's just the territory when you have a dewier foundation. I feel like it settles a little bit, but for how dewy it got, I'm very impressed that it wasn't more so. Like, it looks so beautiful. And now my nose, it wasn't like this at hour 8. So I would say about hour 8 on, my nose did start to break apart just a little bit though. Nothing too crazy. I'm not mad at it. Like, overall, you guys, I'm super impressed. From like a personal standpoint, it is more of a medium coverage. I don't typically gravitate towards those just because I like a full beat. But that's also something that is personal preference. I don't care that it is medium coverage. I feel like it's something on a day to day. If I were to go out into the world like this, I would feel confident, fresh, dewy. I would feel like I look healthy. The natural finish of this is so beautiful. And I'm just kind of thinking, like, let me bring you up one more time. Like, even as far as these areas go, you'll see, yes, my acne still pokes through a little bit. That was the other thing though that I mentioned this morning. The only other thing I didn't like was the oxidizing factor of this. I didn't love that it turned so pink. Now, I was able to wear it and I don't think it looks bad, but it did change quite a bit. So for me, I would probably have to play around with that factor. Maybe I could pick up the next shade up, and even though it would be a little darker in color, I might be able to correct that one a little easier because it wouldn't have a harsh pink undertone. But overall, you guys,
guys, those are my thoughts. I want to hear yours down below. What do you think of this foundation? Is it something you were curious about, something you have tried? Leave it all down below. And while you're down there, don't forget, scuttle on up to that description box. Check me out on Instagram and on Twitter. I am mainly over on Instagram. I hang out all the time. I do posts, I do blog posts, I do makeup looks, I do everything. And you can hang out with me in my day-to-day life. So definitely check me out down there. And if you haven't done so yet, please don't also forget you can subscribe and turn on your post notifications to the wonderful YouTube channel, because y'all, I upload 5 videos a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They go up bright and early between 6 and 7 a.m. my time here in Northern Michigan. And girl, it is a fun, fresh, early lit time. We talk about everything. We do the thing. We drink the coffee. We live our lives. We do it together. And it is so much fun to get to be with you guys every single day and grow a channel and grow a platform based on love and happiness and just being a goofball, like embracing your inner weirdness. I'm all about that. And just, I love doing it with you guys. So definitely don't forget to subscribe, turn on your post notifications, and you guys, that is it. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do not forget to have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
The fuck are you, a pterodactyl? Calm down. Va 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 boom. Can anybody else take me seriously right now? Because I can't. Okay. Anytime I see something like this that launches from the drugstore, I am all over it. And let me just tell you, I have a little bit of an issue with the fact that I feel like no one is talking about this foundation. What? Paige, why are you so upset about everything? What is wrong with you? Are you gonna die, Paige? What are you gonna do? I'm like half sneezing, half coughing, half dying. All right, guys, so I went ahead and got the rest of my, what? Nope, the rest of your makeup's not on. If this is how you're going outside, we're gonna have a problem. You remind me of a West Side Story. Growing up in Spanish Harlem, whoa. Living a life just like a movie star, whoa. Concealer, concealer, whoa, whoa, oh yeah. We're gonna set that face.